What's up? What's up? YouTube, what's happening? Family, what's going on, guys? Back with another video. And I got to figure out this, all these live streams, technically we're going to go onto the other channel. I know that. But for some reason, it won't let me do that shit on my phone. For some reason, I don't know. So weird. I can live stream on my computer to my other channel, but I can't live stream on my mobile device to my other channel. So I don't know why. So that's why we're doing the live streams here on the main channel. But definitely make sure you go over to the other channel in the description of the videos to check out those as well. But what's going on, guys? Yo, what's up? We got one person say hello, a long time no see. Kevin. Is that Kevin? No, that's Quan. That's Quan, baby. What's going on? Yo, so interesting enough, we were just listening to some stuff listening to some flat Earth stuff, some questions, basic questions, and my wife finally chimed in and was like, "Whoa, that doesn't make any sense." And we were discussing. I was discussing with her, if you go and research NASA right now, and you go and research the probe that they made for the planet Mercury, and I think it went offline a long time ago, but monetized coin. I think I saw a little bit about monetized coin. I don't know. There are a couple of coins out there. I don't know. There are a couple of coins out there that are similar to monetized coin. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how any of those are gonna actually do. I'm waiting for. I don't take chances with ICOs anymore. So I'm just waiting for them to all actually come out. There's some nice social media coins out there too as well. Look into Send token if you're looking for some social media tokens. Pretty decent. Just be careful what you buy. It's going to be very, very difficult to cash in big when we're doing these ICOs now. People are a lot more cautious now. It's just more difficult, so just be careful. Let's see. What do you think about Google shutting down? What? Shutting down advertising? You just got 5x off monetized. That's not bad. 5x ain't bad. 5x ain't too bad. What do you mean Google shut down monetizing? How did Google shut down monetizing? There's no more Google, what you call it? There's no more monetizing? Google shut down the monetizing? You're telling me there's no more, what is it? What was it called? The Google monetizing that they had? Not PayPal. Oh, you can't. Oh, for crypto. Oh yeah, well that was systematic. Them shutting down any crypto monetization, that was systematic. That was gonna be because they don't have control. They want to be able to control the bigger portion of cryptocurrency, man. And everybody advertising, even if they're paying for it through Google, they're not making any money off that. So you have to look at the big picture here. You know what I mean? They're devious, man. You gotta look at the big picture. They're trying to protect their money. They're not making as much money when you advertise. You're making money when you advertise. Cryptocurrencies right now, man, they're basically, Bitcoin is in a lot of trouble right now as well. Cryptocurrency as a whole right now is just, I'm not going to say it's faltering. I'm going to say that it is normalizing itself right now. It's normalizing itself right now. Important, I'm telling you, man, we had a huge pump in companies coming into the space You know what I mean? Like for like the last 8 months, and it was just insane. And they're still coming. So I mean, a lot of this stuff is saturated, and that's why we see the price of Bitcoin just going down. It's too much out there. It needs to normalize again, get smaller. A lot of these companies that come out, 90% of them are gonna fail. There's only 10% of these new companies that are gonna survive 1 year. The rest of them are gonna go away, man. So, you know, if you 5x on monetized coin, that's good. Get in, get out, because, you know, monetized coin might not even be around for the next 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be around for 6 more months and then just be gone. So you gotta, that's just how the shit works, man. Let me say, you gotta make your money where you can, and then move around. You know, it's there's very little hope in sticking with one company. That's what I said before. I said it for the longest time. There's very little hope in sticking with one company, because it's just not, cryptocurrency is just not that kind of business. We're not dealing with franchises. We're not dealing with you know, companies that are like, for example, like Walmart, Target. I mean, if you look at companies that have been around forever, look at companies like look at Toys R Us. Toys R Us is going out of business. You know what I mean? Like, look how long Toys R Us has been around. That like, to me, that kind of hurts, because like my kids, like my son, he's so young that he won't even know what Toys R Us is. You know what I'm saying? My 2 older kids, they know what Toys R Us is, but my little son, he won't know what Toys R Us is, because it's gonna be gone. They're talking about shutting down in like as little as 2 weeks. Over 800 stores in the USA gone. Like, that's crazy, man. Toys R Us has been around forever. So we're not, with cryptocurrency, I always try to get people to recognize that you're not dealing with companies like Target, like Walmart, like Toys, you know what I'm saying, Toys R Us. You're not dealing with companies that have been around for decades. You know what I'm saying? You're not dealing with those. You're dealing with companies that literally 1 year in cryptocurrency, 6 months in cryptocurrency is like a year. So, but anyway, I was talking to the wife about the mission that NASA did for trying to explore Mercury. They spent $450 million on that particular probe that was to like circle Mercury for like so many years. And the only thing that they could give us after that fact was, you can go on NASA, you can check it out. They said that the probe was failing and it was going to crash into the Earth, or not crash into Earth, crash into Mercury. And they wanted to show us all of the pictures that it had taken. They were going to take all the pictures and use CGI animation to bring the Voyager of Mercury alive, to show us what it, you know, in animation, what it saw. So right away, if you're intelligent, you would look at that and you would say, wait a minute, you mean this thing was flying around for more than a year taking pictures, and you can't show me real pictures? Instead, you have to show me CGI animation to interpret the pictures that it took over a year's period of time. And to me, if you're intelligent, you would say, well, wait a minute, what sense does that make? Why would you have to show me something computer generated instead of just showing me real pictures? Why can't you just show me one of those real pictures instead of a computer generated image? You know what I mean? And so that made my wife, that made her think like, whoa, wait a minute. So why, they couldn't show not even like one real image? No, they couldn't. They can only show a CGI. And it doesn't just stop there. Every single planet that they have taken a picture of, or that they have supposedly visited with probes, they're all the same way. They're all, and if you look at NASA's wording correctly, if you look at it very, very closely, like I said, every video that they show you, they always end it with, enjoy the show. And they always, if you read the fine print, they always tell you these images were created from data. And generated by CGI. You're watching a show. It's entertainment. It is the biggest Hollywood entertainment to date. And you know, a lot of it, like I said, our foolishness to say that we landed on the moon a long time ago was actually birthed from our desire to try and one up Russia. Back in the day, remember we were at war with Russia. Russia was the first to put anybody up there in that area up there that we call space. They were the first ones to do that. They were the first ones to put a dog up there, to put a black person up there, to float around a little bit. But they never claimed to go to the moon. They couldn't get there yet. So we were the first ones to say, you know what, we're going to do this shit, and we did it. Supposedly, they said that we went to the moon, but it was only one in a lifetime chance that we were ever going to be able to do it, because the Van Allen belt had a bubble in it, a hole in it, that let us do it.
Thank you for that. Can I get for you?
Yes, can I get a large? Do y'all have caramel back in yet?
Yes.
Can I get a large hot caramel macchiato?
Okay, anything else for you?
Do y'all have you have like bagel with cream cheese?
Yes.
I'll get that.
You take one of those?
Yes, please.
Anything else for you?
That'll be it.
Okay, I'll see you at the window.
Thank you. So yeah, our and they said that, basically we put all of our resources just to try to get to the moon. We didn't build our resources to sustain a long time presence. Yo, what's up, Jonathan? We didn't put our resources and financials into sustaining a long term relationship with exploration of space. That's what Neil deGrasse claimed. That's what a lot of these guys claim, that we were only in it at the time to get to the moon, and that was it. We didn't have any other plans to stay in space. We just wanted to beat Russia. And if you ever listen to anything that NASA says, they don't speak complete falsities. There is some truth in what they say. They're not telling you the full truth. They're just telling you some of it, right? And the truth of that matter is that they were going to do whatever they could within our power to go to the moon, even though they knew we could not go to the moon. So they made it happen. They created it. They made it happen. The biggest hoax probably ever. And they didn't think about the repercussions. They didn't think about any of that. It was then, I think, that they thought. One second. Morning.
Large caramel macchiato. It's going to be $4.32.
Oh, did you get the bagel too? Bagel cream cheese?
Regular bagel?
Yes, ma'am.
Plain bagel?
Yes, ma'am.
It's going to be $6.91.
That's fine. So, I think it was from there. It was shortly after that NASA said, the repercussions of us telling the public that we cannot basically even go into space anymore is going to be devastating. We can't do that. They had to try to keep up the lie somehow. So basically, that's what we started doing. They started pumping money into NASA, and they had to start space exploring. You know what I'm saying? They had to start space exploration. And even to this day, you know what I mean? Even to this day, I don't even understand how they're even credible anymore. It doesn't make any sense. And that's why SpaceX was born. You know what I mean? That's why SpaceX was born. That's why we're seeing other alternatives besides just NASA trying to go out there and do things now. Because we've recognized that NASA and the government has been full of shit for a long time, and they're lying to you. they're lying to you in such a way that it's very deceptive. They always say that the person, the best liar is the one who sticks closer to the truth. Now think about what I just said for a minute. The best liar is the one that sticks closer to the truth. So that's what they do. They stick as close to the truth as possible, and they weave their little lies basically to fit their agenda. Now, when you think about it, if you believe in the globe Earth that they have given us, if you believe in that, then you basically have negated all belief in God, because we already know the government doesn't believe in God. They only believe in one God. Thank you. They only believe in one God. One G-O-D. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Only one. They only believe in one G-O-D. And that G-O-D is not the one that you read about in your Bible. That G-O, yo, what's up, bro? John, what's going on? That G-O-D that they believe in is gold, oil, and diamonds. That's the God that they believe in. That's the God that they want you to believe in. So the globe Earth basically tells you, look, there is no God. The only God is gold, oil, and diamonds. Right? We were created from a big bang, a mindless, random act of creation. There is no intelligent consciousness outside of our intellect, outside of our mentality, outside of our brain. There's no consciousness outside of that. It's just random. We're a random ass planet that is extraordinary amongst an infinite number of bodies in the universe. That's what they want you to believe. The minute that you start to think critically and realize that our ancestors, which were very, very smart, we know that because they're still trying to figure out. And when I say our ancestors, I'm really saying my ancestors, because my ancestors don't have a timeline on this planet. Y'all go back millions of years and y'all only find one type of person, and that was my people. So y'all still trying to figure out how the hell they did what they did. And they sent it, and they tell you. The more you critically think about how they thought this planet was, all the way up until like 500 years ago, before they changed it to a globe Earth, they basically told you what it was. We were in a controlled environment, controlled realm. This is a realm. It's not a globe. It's not a planet. We are a fucking realm. You know what I mean? It's a realm. You ever play Mortal Kombat when they talk about Earth realm and we're having a tournament and all these places, all these other people come from different realms? They come from different realms. You know what I mean? And it's enclosed, and we've been trying to figure out how to get out of this realm for a long time, and we can't figure it out. You know what I mean? That's the reason why they can't go to the moon. That's the reason why they can't go to the fucking sun. They can't do those things. That sun and moon is right outside the firmament. What they would call the Van Allen belt. I'm telling you, if you guys are very interested, go take a look at Martin Kelly and his cosmic egg theory. It's very, very interesting. I agree with it about 98%. And when I say I agree, I mean that 98% of it I resonate with, that it could be very, very well possible that his theory is that correct. It just makes sense. You know what I mean? My major issue with everything that I have been brought up to believe in is that itself, belief. Belief is a very, very dangerous thing. Belief is very, very dangerous. And if you notice, belief is the number one thing required by every major religion and every government body on the planet. Belief. They want you to believe in something, right? They want you to believe in something. No matter what they tell you, no matter what doesn't make sense. You see, because by nature, we are logical beings. Very, very logical. You're very, very logical. You know, the minute that you hear something that doesn't make sense, you question it. But if you're supposed to have belief and faith, that means that you believe something. You need to think of it as being true no matter what the circumstances. If I tell you that a man named Jesus was crucified, up on a cross, died, put in a grave, and rose again 3 days later from that same grave, and then flew up into the sky and is still living and is gonna come back any day now, over 2,000 years ago, and I tell you that I know it doesn't make sense, and it goes against every string of truth that we know as human beings in our day and age on how nature works, but I tell you to believe it anyway. And you're just supposed to accept that blind truth. Just fucking idiots, dude, driving, man, I'm telling you. And you're supposed to, accept that blind truth. And I'm not going to just pick on the Bible. I'm just saying, I'm just giving you an example of the things that you are told to believe. And you're just supposed, even though it doesn't make sense, and even though it contradicts what we know to be true, just in nature, you're gonna believe it. They have systematically brainwashed the people so fucking much. Yo, what's up? Oh, you in LA, baby. Can't wait to get back to LA. Yeah, I mean, they systematically have brainwashed us, man. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it really is crazy. And the more you break things down, the more and more you realize that you've been systematically set up to live in the fairy tale, the world that they have created for us to live in. And it's scary. It's very, very scary, man. It's mass indoctrination. It's mass confusion, and it's all set up and designed. And like I said, there are truths in everything. I'm not saying that the Bible is completely false. I'm not saying that the Quran is completely false. I'm not saying that any religion that you see today is completely false. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that, for example, in the Quran, when God and the devil are having a conversation, the devil told God that he would come at his creation. He would come at his creation from the front, the back, the left, the right, up, down. He would come at us from God's straight path. He would come at us and he would confuse everything. And that's exactly, and it's very, very true. Everybody knew where we were. Everybody knew how we were living. Everybody knew what the earth was. Everybody knew what it was for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Ever since we were able to record anything and understand, we knew what it was. But along the way, Satan has said, you know what? I'm going to confuse this shit. I'm confusing it. I'm going to confuse it all. And we're all very confused here on this planet. And that's why we hate each other. That's why there's war. That's why there's just mass confusion. You know what I mean? It's mass confusion. The Tower of Babel. We're very much living out that same confusion right now. You know what I mean? The lady who wrote the Matrix. I was just watching something on the Matrix last night. Man, I love the Matrix, man. It's crazy. But I think, going back to what I was talking to my wife about, I uploaded a video on the channel yesterday. It's very confusing when you think about it. I was thinking, okay, some people say that the Earth it's flat and it's kind of like infinite, not necessarily infinite, but the plane is very, very large. And I was thinking, okay, well, if it's very, very large, why is it so dark in space? You know what I mean? But then, I started making sense of it, and I started thinking, okay, well, if I look at the cosmic egg theory, between us and Jupiter, there's nothing in between besides Mars, Venus, and Saturn. So there's in between all of us and Jupiter, there ain't no stars floating around in between. There's none of that shit. The only stars that we see at night that we can perceive, the Milky Way, all that stuff, is in the cosmos, which is well above Jupiter. That's past Uranus, that's past, Neptune, that's past those guys. And then you have the heavens and the stars that oscillate, you know what I'm saying, that circulate. That's what we see. And so I was thinking, if we do go up in space, why is it always so damn black? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the conclusion that I made, that kind of made sense to me. I don't know if maybe somebody else has a different idea, but that's kind of what made sense to me, and why everything up there is so damn black. Even when we put a balloon up there, even when we put a balloon up there 100,000 feet, everything above the Earth just looks black. You don't see any stars or anything like that. So that kind of makes me think that, yeah, our realm is definitely in a silhouette of black. Now, with the cosmic egg theory from Mark Kelly, he's saying that basically our realm that we're in right now, that we know about, that we exist in, is only a small, little portion of a pyramid. The next land over there is what we can see sometimes with your naked eye or with telescopes. We can briefly make out the planets, the stars, Mars, Venus, but like I said, even to this day, we don't have, NASA can't give you real pictures of them. Your best bet is probably going to be able to see them with a telescope or something, but those are those other realms that they say exist, the extra part of the pyramid. That so when the government is saying they want to go to like Mars and shit, they're not truly going to Mars, that sun, that luminant, that lumen. How you doing? Appreciate it, thank you, man. No, they're not necessarily going to that lumen, that place, that star. But they're trying to get to that land. You know what I'm saying? That outer land. And it makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? It does make a lot of sense when you look at it. It makes a whole bunch of sense. They tell you that they tell us that aliens are extraterrestrials. Now, if you break down extraterrestrial, extra meaning more, terrestrial, what's terrestrial? What's the root word of terrestrial? Terrain. Extra, more, terrain. So beings that are from the outer lands, the extra lands that are beyond our firmament, that are beyond our Van Allen belts, or Van Allen belts, whatever you want to call it, Allen, whatever, Van Allen belts, basically the impenetrable force that we cannot get through. A planet, right? That's why they say we are on a planet. A plane that nets life, that nets creation. We are on a plane, a realm. Ask yourself how these people came up with all these different terminologies. You think they were stupid? You think they did it on purpose? Think they came up with extraterrestrial on purpose? No, they're telling you. There's more that lies beyond our Van Allen belt. To me, I'm still trying to figure out the fact that how we can see like Mars and Venus from like telescopes and stuff like that, you know, from observatories. Can't make out too big of a distinction, but I was wondering, you know, if we are in our own realm, you know, why are we able to even see anything past our sun and moon? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was trying to figure out. But so I'm still trying to figure it out in my head, if this Van Allen belt is like I said, some type of dark field that we not only can we not get out of it, but we can't see anything past it. So like, for example, when people say, you know, well, where's the edge? If it's flat, where's the edge? You know what I mean? And I say, I'm thinking that the edge of our Earth is obviously the areas that we're not able to fly to, that we're not able to visit. You know what I mean? You know, the North and the South Pole are heavily guarded. You know what I mean? Our flight trajectories for planes is governed by the UN, by United Nations. Our flight paths are guided. You cannot deviate from those flight paths, right? Some people say, well, why not just take a plane? Why not somebody just take a plane or a jet or something and try to fly to Antarctica, or fly, you know, try to fly through the North Pole and see what lies beyond. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the answer. The answer is you'll get shot down. You'll get blown up. They're not going to let you do that. You can't. Why won't they take a ship? They can't. They won't let you do it. They will not let you do it. They, the governments, the collective bodies of government, they won't let you do that. So no, you can't get into a ship and just cruise to the fucking Antarctic. You can't get in a ship, cruise to the North Pole. You can't do any of that. They won't let you. Right? They won't let you. But my theory is not even really a theory. I think it's just the truth. Is that at some point in those areas that they won't let us go to, it has to be that area, that border has to be somewhere, because they're telling us that it's in space. They're telling us that they can only go up so high, they can only go so far before they're not able to anymore. So to me, that tells me that if it's obviously there is something that the Van Allen belt, that they call it, the Van Allen belt, is preventing them from going a certain distance off the surface of the Earth. So they can only go so high, so far. Private expeditions have gone to Antarctica, and have they? There are places that you can go to Antarctica, but you ain't going to past a certain point. That's just a fact. You know, if that was the case, they would have tourism down there. They got tourism at every place on the Earth, but they ain't got them there. Trust me. I don't know about you, but there's a lot of places that you can't go to on this planet. Trust me. When I was stationed at Fort Carson, Colorado, you know, a lot of people talk about NORAD, and the NORAD doesn't exist, and there is no such thing as NORAD. No, NORAD exists, and it's connected to Fort Carson. But guess what? And they have signs that say you cannot go past a certain point. So and now they'll tell you that NORAD exists. Yeah, NORAD's there. NORAD exists, but you ain't going there. You gotta have the right credentials to be able to go to NORAD, right? What do they do in NORAD? They can't tell you that. All you know is that it exists, right? I'm telling you. So I'm not saying that you can't go to the Antarctic. Yeah, there's a certain way there is a certain level of public knowledge to Antarctica. There's a certain level of public knowledge about the North Pole, right? But beyond a certain point, there's going to be a sign and there's going to be people and guns that say you cannot go past this point. Go to Antarctica then. You tell me why you can't find nothing about Antarctica beyond what the government tells you. I ain't ever seen nobody vlogging. I ain't ever seen nobody showing shit on Discovery Channel about going to Antarctica. I ain't never heard anybody saying, what's the big deal with Antarctica? It's nothing. It's just a bunch of ice. Nah. Nah. Even the fucking North Pole. Look how long it took for them to actually go to the North Pole. And even today, even though they go to the North Pole, they only go to a certain point of the North Pole, which they claim is the truest northern part of the North Pole. But that motherfucker is expansive. I'm like, wait a minute. So here's a big ass endless block of ice, and you're saying that this point here is the truest part of the North Pole. But why won't you keep going to see what you run into? And they can't do that because they say, oh, well, it's too cold. And then the other excuse is the magnetic field is too great. It's too violent. It can cause harm to the human body. So they can't go past a certain point because of the electromagnetic field. But now they're telling us that the electromagnetic field is disappearing, is switching. So it's like, what is it here? You know what I mean? Like, you have to use logic, people. Like, just start using some logic. Why can't you go certain places? Why would they tell you that you can only fly certain places? Why? Why would they tell you that they can go to the moon and they visit all these planets, but yet in the same breath they tell you that they can't travel outside the 220 miles above the Earth's atmosphere because of the Van Allen belt? They can't do it anymore. So how the fuck do they have satellites at all these other planets, but they can't get out of that fucking thing? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. You tell me how you can do that. I'm waiting. The only reason they said that they were able to get to the moon in 69 or whenever it was because there happened to be a loophole of a lifetime. There was a hole in the Van Allen belt that they were able to squeeze through, get through, go to the moon, and then come back through that exact same hole. But now the hole doesn't exist anymore, and it's impenetrable. They can't get past it. So 220 miles above the Earth's atmosphere is as far as they can get. That's what read it. Read it. You can spend a whole day reading about the North Pole, and they'll tell you about the electromagnetic field that prevents them from going beyond a certain point past true north. It's there. It's public knowledge. It's right there. I mean, everything that they tell you about our Earth, you've read it or you've heard it. It's been ingrained in your mind. It's a globe. They said the Earth was round, and they said the Earth was pear-shaped, and they said back to the Earth is round. Nah, I think the truth in the middle is that the Earth is a plane, and it is it's a oblate spheroid, like they do tell you. That's some of the truth, but the truth of that matter is that the spheroid that they're talking about is that Van Allen belt that surrounds our plane. Yes, it goes up, it goes around like a sphere. So when you're talking about the entire thing, yeah, we're encapsulated in a spheroid. That's the half truth that they tell you. But they want to make you think that the actual Earth, the plane, is not a plane. It is a rounded ball. It's impossible. It's impossible. A telescope wouldn't work. A lighthouse wouldn't work. You know, a lighthouse on the edge of the water, that wouldn't work because if the Earth was curved, you wouldn't be able to see around the fucking curve. Let's see, what else? When I was in the Army, we used a lot of nogs. We used a lot of, if you use radar, radar works on flat plane. It captures depth of field, like the depth. If it was something was a radar doesn't work on a curved surface. Van Allen belts is a belt. Why would NASA tell you that it is a belt that they cannot penetrate, that is impenetrable? They cannot go beyond a Van Allen belt. If it was just a belt, they would be able to go to the moon. Again, don't make it difficult. You're trying to make this shit difficult. It ain't difficult. They're telling you right now that there is a field, an electromagnetic field, that they cannot go beyond. That would mean that something would have to encase the entire planet above a certain area, like a sphere, that they cannot go through. Right? I mean, that would make sense, right? They claim that there are, how many belts did they say? 5 belts? 5 belts that they know of. And if you look at the cosmic egg theory, I'm telling you, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. But don't make it difficult, guys. You know what I mean? They try to make it seem very, very simple. And honestly, the simpler that they try to make it, the more it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. If you want to believe that you're random, then you got to believe that you're just random. But all the evidence is here. It's been here. It's been in plain sight. Very, very plain sight. Well, like I said, the globe theory was something that they wanted to change. You know what I'm saying? Am I saying that the Van Allen belt is the firmament, the globe covering us? I'm saying that this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that NASA's telling us that our Earth is not a plane, that it is a globe. But in the same breath, they're telling us that we are surrounded by a belt that surrounds the Earth that is impenetrable, that they can't go past a certain point. So if you have a circle and you have a belt around that circle, because you know when you put a belt together, it creates a circle. You put a belt around that circle and you can't get out of it. All I'm saying is that they're telling you a half truth. To me, the biggest evidence of their deceit is the simple fact that they have billions of dollars. They earn billions of dollars every year, and they have yet to show us basic things. They have yet to show us how an astronaut gets into an astronaut suit, getting through the various locked air chambers to decompress and to compress. They have not showed us anything like that. They haven't showed us any actual real pictures of actual planets. Even when you see the live feed from the ISS, they tell you in every single animation that they do that it is data compiled through CGI to give us a look at what the data has interpreted. They're interpreting the data through computer generated images. So they're telling you, we can't give you a photo of what we see. We can only give you data from what our satellites are collecting, and then we use that to create a picture. So it's Photoshop, but it's not fake. We're generating an image based on the data. Some people say that that's fine. You know, you can do that. And yeah, you can do that. But what I'm saying is that with all this fucking technology that we have today, how the hell are you telling me that I can look at the sun, I can look at the moon with a telescope, I can take pictures with a telescope, But you can't build a multi-million-dollar construction to take a regular photo of the same things that I can see here on the surface of the earth. You're telling me that you have an ISS that's 220 miles, because that's as far as you can go, floating above the Earth's atmosphere, but you cannot show what the moon looks like from there. You can't show me what the sun looks like from there. You can't show me what other stars look like from there. You can't show me what the other planets look like from there. But you can only show me what those things look like through a computer-generated image based on data that you collect from being out there. That doesn't make any sense. And you have to think about it. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. They spent $450 million on a probe to Mercury. And it was circling for years. And the only thing that they can show you, they can only compile the images to show you a computer-generated animation of what it would look like. Why do you have to show me what it would look like when you can just show me what it looks like through a fucking picture? Simple. I mean, to me, it's very, very simple, right? But that just tells me that they can't go out a certain radius, so they can't really go out there. They can't really go out there. Why is it that they can show, why is it that I can see the moon, but they can't show me a real picture of the moon? They can't show me a real picture of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. Do I think it's flat? No, I don't think the earth is flat. I think the earth is, I think the plane is flat. But I think that it is a pyramid. I think that it could be a pyramid. The entire earth realm, I think, is probably closer to what the Egyptians said, that it is a pyramidal type structure. So like when they tell you that the earth it's got 4 layers, you know, mantle, crust, and all that stuff, I think it breaks it down. I think that it's trying to tell us that it's actually broken down like a pyramid. You've seen the pyramids, like a pyramid system, and we are on our own plane that is part of that pyramid, and the other worlds that lie beyond that realm are right beyond our realm. And every realm has a Van Allen belt, just like NASA told us. Van Allen, they told us that there's that they know of like 5 or 6 belts, and that makes perfect sense. That's what I tell you, guys, go look up Martin Kelly and look up his theory. Oh yeah, definitely a rabbit hole. But it makes more sense. So if we can send, Max, if we can send shit past the Van Allen belts all day, why is NASA telling us that they cannot do it? Why, if you're telling me that we can send stuff past it all day, but NASA is telling me that they cannot send anything past it. They said that, quote unquote, it is an impenetrable field that they have not been able to get out of yet. Impenetrable means you can't go through. And I've already said this before. I said that, okay, just like you said, okay, we went through the Van Allen belt before with a human. Why can they not just send a human through the why can't they just send a satellite, send a rover through the Van Allen belt? Then nobody dies, nobody has to get hurt through the radiation. Just send a piece of metal, send a satellite, send something. Give us some real pictures. They can't do it though. For yeah, some people, man, like they said, the truth is the truth is sometimes stranger than fiction. And the thing is that just like with anything that they've ever told us, you know what I mean? That our government specifically has told us, you know, when you find out the real truth, it's an awakening, and you're just like, wow, you've been lied to for the entire time. They lie, man, and I don't believe it. These motherfuckers, if you think if you think these motherfuckers are actually floating around in space, if you think that they went to the moon in 1969 or whenever that shit was, with the shitty technology that they had back then, and then with the great technology that we have right now, they can't do it, you're out of your mind. You're out of your fucking mind. Neil deGrasse tried to argue the same thing. He tried to say the same thing. Well, yeah, you know, our technology was not as good as it was yesterday as it was today, back then when we went to the moon. But it's because that we've gotten so much smarter that we've actually made it harder to duplicate what we did back then. And I'm just like, what the fuck? What kind of sense does that make? What? But you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? That's the shit that they try to get you on, man. They try to complicate things for you. They try to complicate your logic. They're constantly battling your logic. And most people are sheeple, so they don't ever really question anything. Because NASA is supposed to be the one. What does NASA mean in Hebrew, by the way? The deceitful one. Look up what NASA means in Hebrew, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. You go look up what NASA means in Hebrew. Then get back to me. All right, guys. We got to come out the rabbit hole for now. We'll be back later on with another video. Appreciate you guys coming through.